What are we? What makes us what we are? And what we're going to be? I think it's that right there. It's grit. It's grit.
And we're back with a special episode on what day is it today? It's a Thursday evening, not our normal shooting time. I am your humble host, Caleb Annual, joined by, as you can see, Adrian, the sound guy, Clay, the stat guy. Everyone's a little sleepy tonight. And then who is this? Derrick B. Yeah, we have a special guest today. This is a crossover episode. Lions-Packers Hate Week. How we feeling, fellas?
Man, this is going to be an awesome game, man.
I'm excited, man. First outdoor game of the year in Lambeau. Bring it. Let's go.
Let's go. And Derrick is our special guest. We'd like to welcome him into the podcast. This is his first time on the pod. First guest host that we've had on the pod, actually, besides just the normal crew. And, a very special week. We have a Packers game traveling to Lambeau, Sunday, 4:25 kickoff. And we thought, who better else to join us for our first guest host appearance on the All Grit podcast than my hated rival, Derrick Balser. Derrick, welcome to the show.
Hello there.
Nice to have you, man.
I was telling these guys a couple episodes ago, I said, when we were talking about the Packers, I said there was a family's house that we used to go to every time the Lions and Packers played. And I would always leave that house mad and upset because Brett Favre would pull some foolery out. And I just remember your mom and dad just laughing on the couch and me and my mom just miserable and me and you almost throwing down. These are the memories I have.
Do you want the photos? I can share the photos.
Yes, please do. I mean, this is real. This goes back to
it does.
Childhood rivalry. So good to have you on the pod. We have a couple questions for you. I can start with the first one. I'm not sure. Do you guys have any other questions or no? Do I have them all?
I think you have them all.
Yeah, we sent them over to you.
Okay. If there's anything, that's right. These questions come from the guy. So, Derrick, number one, with the Packers, how is Malik? Because Malik Willis he's come into play a couple games now. I think he's 3-0 with the games that he's come in. Is that right? He played this year. I know he's 2-0.
The games he's started, he's 2-0. He's 2-0 in the games he started, and then he led the Packers to a win last week. The one against Philly, you can't really count. He came in for 2 plays, so I can't really count that against him.
Okay. So how's Malik Willis played this year in your opinion so far?
Well, I think better than expected, especially if you're a Tennessee Titans fan. I mean, you let the guy go, and you look at the absolute disaster that their quarterback situation is down there. I think when you look at what Malik Willis has done, not only does it show he's a player in the NFL, but it also is kudos to Matt LaFleur as a coach, because Matt LaFleur set him up for success from the very beginning. You think about the game against Indy, it's very vanilla. We want you to run the ball. We want you to run the ball. And if all else fails, we want you to run the ball. And that's what he did, and then as that game went along, he got more comfortable. The following week, we saw him start to air it out. And then all of a sudden you realize, hey, this guy can throw. And then you realize this guy can play. So I think, again, I think Tennessee is kind of playing sore loser right now. I think Green Bay, with Jordan Love's injuries being a persistent thing, probably going on throughout this season, what you see in your backup, honestly, is probably what every team wants to see in a backup quarterback. And I wouldn't be surprised if he has a good showing, if he continues to have a good showing, I should say, in his opportunities to start or fill in. I would not be surprised if teams make a move for him in the offseason, at least to get him on their roster.
Little Matt.
And that trade came out of nowhere, too. Right before week 1. Packers trade for a backup.
Yeah.
And then, wow.
And, week 1. I go back to part of that is just part of it is the Packer way of that's what they do. They're not known as a flashy free agent team. They
sorry, Packer way. Sorry, that made the drop.
I got it. That's
I will give it to you, man. It's like, what are you giving these quarterbacks? Like every quarterback you guys put on the field is just like they look
we
good.
don't know it. That's all we know is Packers have their quarterback all the time.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of it goes back to there's the front office, there's the GM, and then there's also his communication with the coach, with the offensive coordinator and the quarterback's coach. You know, the Packers are unique in the sense that they don't have a Jerry Jones. They don't have a team owner that it's like, I don't care how much the guy costs. I like him. I want him. They're a corporation, which is the only team in the NFL that does that. So, you know, it's a longer process. That's for sure. Jordan Love sat for 2 years, right? Behind Rodgers before he actually saw the field. So, but as far as Malik Willis goes, you know, I thought it was great how the Packers handled it. The game 1 against Indy, game 2, and then you saw him last week cold. He came in cold against the Miami Dolphins when it was tied up, and that play to Jordan Reed. If you watch that replay of that play, it was a long developing play action. He sold it on the one end, and then hit Jordan Reed or Jalen Reed on the back end that set up the game tying or the game winning field goal. So I'm very impressed with what Malik can do.
Sounds good, man. Hey, this is actually bringing us into our second question. I kind of want to go to Adrian and Clay too before I even go to Derrick. Do you have a preference on Sunday? Whose quarterback do you guys want to face, Adrian? Would you rather see Jordan Love, or because Malik is so hot right now, what do you think?
I would rather see a injured Jordan Love, which I think Green Bay will probably play Malik Willis. Like, I think you guys got the bye week coming up, right, Derrick?
We do have a bye week after this, yes.
So, yeah, exactly. So it would make sense from that standpoint to just, hey, let's rest him this week. That way he gets 2 weeks, and that would be the smart thing to do and make sure he gets healed up. But from our Lions perspective, I would like to see just kind of an injured player, if you will, maybe make not so good decisions because his capabilities aren't at the full.
Right.
But I'm expecting Malik to play.
Okay. How about you, Clay? What are you thinking?
I want Jordan Love as well. I want to play Love. So, you know, Love came out, punches in the mouth, Thanksgiving Day. Rather, 100%, 100%, 80%. I'd rather see him. And because if we do lose against Malik, that's just something to have in the back of your mind that you lost against the Packers and you didn't play Jordan Love. So,
right.
A lot of different reasons, but I think they will rest Love, but
yeah, I'd be surprised if they played him, but like if they did play him, then that tells me that their coaching staff thinks that highly of making him play against us instead of resting him.
Derrick, what do you think? You got Jordan Love starting this week or Malik?
You know, I've got Love starting right now. Based on everything, all the reporting that I'm seeing out of Green Bay right now, it sounds like the groin is not that bad, and all these guys compete, you know, they compete. And if you're the starter, you don't want your backup going out there. So I think it's going to be
Richardson from the Colts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Let's, so we got that settled. Yeah, I think I would agree. I'd rather see Love with a little groin injury than Malik right now, which is just stupid to say. I mean, all of us should be saying, yeah, throw in the back. We want an easy dub, but I don't know. There's no such thing as easy dub when these two teams play, as we know for the last year. Mm-hmm. Moving on to that third question, then, what are the strengths and weaknesses of both offense and defense? So just you know, what do you think about that offense, defense, and their strength?
Yeah. So you know, I think the unsung hero so far this year has been Josh Jacobs, the running back for Green Bay. Their running game, actually, I like Josh Jacobs better than Aaron Jones, and I love Aaron Jones the last couple of years. I loved Aaron Jones, but Josh Jacobs has carried this team. Also, the receiving core for Green Bay. Who are you going to cover? Watson can beat you deep.
Yeah.
Dobbs has great route running in hands. Jalen Reed is, Debo 2.0. You got Wicks. Oh, and by the way, you got Tucker Kraft as a tight end, even though the other one's hurt right now. So, offensively, they provide problems. Defensively, the Packers have pros and strengths. Their corner, Jareer Alexander, great. Xavier McKinley, the free agent pickup, great. Packers can't stop the run though. And that's the hard, even though their defense is ranked high, especially on turnovers, they have a hard time against the run. And when you've got a two-headed monster with Monty and with Gibbs coming in, anyone that stops the Lions has to get to Goff. But in order to get to Goff, you got to stifle that run game. And if you can't stifle that run game, good luck.
Yeah. That's a good look out. I did not know that about their offense or their defensive line. So it's interesting. So, yeah, I mean, they're one of the hottest offenses out there too. I mean, it's us, it's you guys.
Yeah.
And their defense is good, but their defense is built on playing from a lead and with turnovers.
Yeah.
When they've played against teams with the winning record, the Packers are only 2-2, or they're 2-2, or they're 3-2. Minnesota and Philly ran it down their throat. So if you can run the ball on Green Bay and you can't get an effective pass rush, it's going to be a long day. Whether you're playing at home or on the road, doesn't matter.
And I don't know if you guys saw the weather report for Sunday, but it's looking for rain out in Lambeau. So if it is a rainy day, it's going to be a lot of running, which perhaps favors the Lions a little bit.
Yep.
All right. So you got a trajectory of Jordan Love long term. He just signed a 5-year? The beginning of this? Okay, so he's your quarterback long term. How do you feel with Jordan Love being a Packers quarterback for long term, especially against the rest of the division right now?
Well, I'm happy with what they've got. They've got a quarterback that gets it and that can play. He can make great plays. He also can make some bad decisions too. There's a little bit of Brett Favre in him more than Aaron Rodgers, some of the bonehead interceptions. He's got 9 interceptions this year. 2 of them, you got to take away. One of them, the receiver fell down and it went right into the defender's lap. The other one, it bounced off the receiver's hand and it was picked. So you take that away. But you think about this league, there's 32 teams. And if you look at the stats across the league, I've got Jordan Love as high as the 9th best quarterback in the league and as low as the 11th best quarterback in the league.
Wow.
Out of 32 teams, and probably 3 of those teams can't even figure out who their starter is going to be on Sunday.
Right.
I think the Packers are in a good position, and they don't call the NFC North the black and blue division for nothing. These teams are going to beat up on each other. Even this weekend, I see this game being probably a closer game. It's not going to be a blowout like we saw with the Titans. It's probably going to be a closer game.
No, yeah, it will.
I think we all agree with that.
Yeah. I think it'll be similar to our game versus the Vikings. I mean, you guys went pretty, back to back against the Vikings as well.
Do you guys have a score? Do you have an idea of a score for this weekend?
Yeah, I think the Lions win by like a touchdown, like a 1 possession game. It'll be close. I think Dan Campbell said it in his presser. It'll come down to the 4th quarter. Whoever makes a mistake will come out losing out of that game. So, gotta be perfect till the end. No turnovers.
I think early in the week I did have him as a 10-point favorite, but I think like a late field goal to make it a 10-point game. But it's going to be close. Like Adrian said, and like Dan Campbell, like it's going to be a last possession type of game. Like,
I think the line right now is 3.5. I don't think the Packers cover. I actually have the Lions 33, Green Bay 27. I'm with Adrian. I think it's a 1-score game, but I don't think it's a field goal. I think a touchdown wins it, and I think it's going to end up being, regardless if it's Love or Willis. I'm leaning 33-27, like a 6-point game.
And Lions let Ridley have the field last Sunday, so I really think Reed's going to have a big game. He's going to have a lot of yardage. Fantasy owners will be happy to have him on Sunday, I think. Unless rain, but we're saying rain, so who knows? But if it's a nice day out, Reed's gonna have a good day.
Well, I got a quick question for Derrick. Go ahead, Caleb. Sorry.
Let me get my projection, and then you can ask that question. I think I have the lowest score board here. I think it's going to be even closer than a 10-point game. I think it's going to be closer than a 7-point game. And Derrick, your score is right there, but I'm going to say Lions 30 and Packers 27. I think it's going to be a field goal. I think it's going to be a field goal game. I really do. So what's the spread? It's 3.5 right now.
Yeah, and I would agree with you. If Love plays, they might cover the spread. If Love plays, if Malik plays, I don't think they'll cover the spread. But yeah, I think that's about right.
Close. All right, Adrian, what's your thought?
Yeah, I was just going to ask Derrick. You guys have a nice wide receiver core because it's spread. If you had to pick maybe a favorite wide receiver out of that core, maybe like who's your wide receiver 1 or your favorite, who would that be?
To me, this screams a Jordan Reed game. A Jalen Reed game, because they're going to cover Watson, they're going to cover Dobbs, and with no Aiden Hutchinson, if Love has time, I think Reed out of the backfield, out of a flex position, out of a slot, I think this is going to be a Reed game.
Yeah.
Hey, fellas, what do you think if is Reed their third? Do you think he's third on that line? Is he like the inside slot guy out of Dobbs and Watson, Derrick?
I believe he is. That's how they use him. Watson and Dobbs, they may put Wicks in the mix, but Dobbs is definitely the perimeter guy. So Reed's kind of one of those guys that can go everywhere.
Awesome. So listen, here's my thought. If Jaden does play that inside slot guy like an Amon-Ra, I have a feeling they're going to put Brian Branch more on him because these receivers are so good. And if they put Brian Branch on him, I think it takes Reed out of the game, and then you're relying more on Wicks and you're relying more on the outside guys. Yeah. So that's my thought. I'm hoping anyway, because once Reed gets hot, it's ugly. So I hope that Branch, kind of just sticks on him.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll say on our end, like, Derrick, that our pass rush ever since Aiden Hutchinson went down hasn't been there. We only had 1 sack last game, and that was just because it was schemed, just a wide open blitz. But I will say, on the contrary, our secondary is playing out of their mind. Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph, like one of the top safety duos in the league right now. So even though people have time right now to throw, Kirby Joseph is baiting a lot of quarterbacks right now and getting some turnovers. So
I go back to the only 2 offensive outings against the Lions that anyone has done that looked good. The Buccaneers and the Vikings. They found a way to get the tight ends involved, to get wide receiver number 3 or number 4 or a back out of the backfield.
Exactly.
And that's what you have to do against the Lions right now. They're that good to where they use the term coverage sacks a lot in the NFL. Okay, if that's what the Lions have to do, minus an Aiden Hutchinson, they have to do.
And Buccaneers they're almost a division team at this point because we played them 3 times within the last year. So
they are a division team, bro. Central
back in the day, the NFC Central back in the day. Yeah,
91
creamsicles. Nice. All right, so we got our projections in. I did have. Let me ask Derrick a question. What's the talk about Lions in Packertown? How do they feel about? Jared Goff just gets swept under the rug because of the whole Stafford thing, but I mean, right now the dude is literally balling out of his mind. What's the Packer talk?
All the Packer fans that I talk to, honestly, as a lifelong Packer fan, we love the Lions. We do, because for so long there was highs and lows, and it's like, there's reasons why you hate the Bears. There's reasons why you hate the Vikings, but a lot of, I'll say, fans, not fanatics, if it's not the Packers, they want to see the Lions win it. They want to see, like, no one, a Packer fan would hate to see a Bear or hate to see a
like the
Vikings
less
victory.
hockiest out of the other two, right?
But it's just like it's the Lions are the little brother, right?
Oh Lord.
There we go.
I saved it for one.
Well, you can't say that when we're NFC North champs.
Hey,
All right.
You deserved it. Oh, you deserved it. Heck yeah.
Yeah. All right. So the Packers love Lions. Is that what you're saying?
The Packers love.
Oh, good way to end it. All right. Well, Derrick, we're going to give you a minute or so. Tell us about your business and where people can find you.
Okay, so my name is Derrick, and my family has a business in South Haven, Michigan. It is called Johnny's Lakeshore Jewelry. It is a jewelry store. I am a third generation jeweler. My grandfather started it back after he got out of the service way back in the day, and then in 1981. We opened up the location in South Haven, Michigan. We are a full-fledged jewelry store. We do repairs. We do custom orders. We do diamonds, gemstones, watches, watch repair. We kind of do it all. And we're one of the few independents still out there. So if you're ever down in South Haven, stop by. We're open 5 days a week, Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 5. You can find us at johnnyslakeshorejewelry.com. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram. Same name. And appreciate local support.
Awesome, dude. Thank you so much for that. Round of applause for D-Rock joining the show.
Woo! Thanks for coming on by, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity, and would be happy to do it again.
Well, we'll see you in a couple. We'll play you later on.
Yeah, later in the year.
Sounds good.
We have to bring this back. All right, for the All Great Podcast, this is Clay, Adrian, and Caleb signing off.
See ya.
Yeah.